I was interested in abolition, I was interested in prisoners' rights, but I never in a million years thought that I myself would be incarcerated. But I ended up developing a dependence to heroin, which led me to dating a drug dealer. I got caught in a conspiracy charge.
The facility name, yeah, that's the facility name.
I got sentenced to 36 months, and it was during COVID, so I was locked in a cell most of the time. And so books are truly what saved me when I was in there. It stopped me from losing my mind completely, and especially when there were times when you have no access to even the phone to talk to your family or anyone. That's one brief escape is through books. My name is Cherish. I am from San Diego, and as long ago as I figured out what abolition was, it's something that I've been very passionate and interested in. In my early 20s, I started volunteering in Oakland for a Books Through Bars project, and I really loved doing that.
This is the one he asked for.
No way.
The exact book he asked for.
Upon getting out, I was like, okay, I need to get involved in a project like that. And I found out that it exists here in San Diego as well. So the process is people who are incarcerated write to us and they ask for certain books or certain authors or certain genres, and we read them and try to get as close to it as we can.
And then once it's all like sealed up and done, you can just put it in the
We are not directly an abolition organization in the sense that we're not doing anything to destroy prisons. That's kind of a faraway goal. We need to still show up for those who are incarcerated right now, and so that's why we're doing what we're doing.
We archived some of the letters and pictures and drawings that people send to us. It can be used to bring more awareness to prisoners' rights and to Books Through Bars, and so sometimes people do send stuff that they want to be used in that capacity.
We did receive so many letters, so many art that people wanted us to use. And so we just thought that a zine would be a perfect way to showcase this. So a zine is a lot of things what you want it to be, but a way of anybody portraying information or art in any way that you want. And what we decided was we're not gonna change the letters or the pictures or the drawings in any way. We're just gonna have them how they are.
And I think the point of it basically is to kind of experience what it is like to, for the person who's incarcerated to get a letter, because it does look like this when we send it to them, or for us to also open other people's letter art that we get. It's kind of just original to that experience.
They'll read through this and they'll be like, oh, this is art. Ta-da!
Someone wrote back a really heartfelt letter about how the book that they received from us kind of changed their viewpoint. It was the exact frequency that their soul needed at the exact moment they needed it. They couldn't believe it was a true story of spiritual inspiration, and it shined some light for them and made them realize that they need to look past the horizon. So even something as small as a handwritten letter in a book can make a huge difference and shift people's perspectives, and that's one practical thing that anybody can do for people who are incarcerated, who often do not have a voice or a face or a meaning to the majority of the population.
Are those going to go on a special paper or just regular paper?
I think they're just going to go on a regular paper
Okay.
because we can sort of... Sometimes you read, like, you do have these moments with letters and, like, you're reading through them and you're like, well, there's art. And then eventually someone, you know, in the amalgamation of volunteers was like, oh, we should start collecting it. And so then there was like a folder, and it just sat in this closet for a long time because we didn't really have bandwidth to
Do something with it.
Yeah, do like a project, like a sharing project. And then over the course of a year, like little by little, people have been like, oh, maybe we should do a zine. Yeah, maybe we should do a zine.
I like this for text. The next one.
Oh, like to write Cherish's thing in.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like this could be in here.
The San Diego Zine Fest was coming up and there was a deadline and we were like, oh, we should actually do it.
And people have sent us art to share, and so that's what's included. And then we wrote this little zine, which has like a little bit about my personal experience and then a lot about why we're doing it.
You know, if we don't have loved ones who are incarcerated or there's no like personal connection to it, it's really easy for the majority of people to just forget about that entire population, which is millions and millions of people.
So this is a zine. This is like the package we send to them, and then in it is like the zine I wrote and some other people in bookstore bars, and then all the art that people have sent us in here. So you can look through all the art, but yeah, there's a couple letters.
It's easy to live in a type of ignorance. Somebody was saying they've never volunteered doing this before, and they're like, yeah, I feel like we're not supposed to humanize these people, but even like reading their words and their letters, you can't not. So I feel like a zine is a good way of showing that to people, and a lot of people want their voice to be heard. People's entire letters, pictures, drawings, you can't read that and look at that and not feel something for that person and not feel somewhat even just a glimpse of what they're going through or what that's like, because until you've been there, you can't possibly comprehend the feeling of helplessness and powerlessness that you feel on a daily basis.
Being incarcerated, you're made to feel like you aren't somebody, you aren't a regular person, you are not somebody who is loved or cared about at all, just because of the way that people treat you, the way that people talk to you, day in and day out. You don't feel like that at all. So yeah.
I oftentimes, of course, as everybody does, I get really frustrated and I feel like, what can I even do if this is never going to change? Like, what can we even do? And it's so easy to just feel so much anger and resentment for the way that things are. But any positive change in my community or showing up in different ways, you know, my life involves a lot more than just this project. I do a lot of mutual aid and harm reduction and different ways of showing up for my community in whatever ways I can. It doesn't have to be like you go take over the entire system overnight. I mean, that's not going to happen anyways, but that does help me feel less powerless. It's doing work like this for the people who need it.